First extract. Cambridge has quite a history of Catholic martyrdom, some of you may know, not least my own college queens, and so I thought this might be an appropriate extract to start with. The year's 1577, Francis Tregian, our hero, is a very small boy living on his family's estate in Cornwall. His father refuses to relinquish his Catholic faith and has been imprisoned for harbouring a Catholic priest, Cuthbert Mayne. Cuthbert Mayne was arrested at the Tregian Manor House in June of 1577. We're now in late November and he's about to be executed. Once the date of Cuthbert's execution had been confirmed, there was talk of nothing else. Two of the tenant farmers insisted on travelling to see him die. I never felt any particular liking for Cuthbert, muttered Thomas, our steward, when they returned on the evening of that dark November day, full of their adventure. But I wouldn't wish anyone to end their days as he did. He was an upright, honest man, the most innocent, ingenuous soul I've ever known. I, Francis, was overwhelmed with sorrow and an ill-defined sense of fear. I wandered out as far as the Ridgeway. In the dusk, I saw two men ride up at full gallop. One carried a sack slung crosswise behind his saddle, the other bore a black banner. They stopped to confer for a moment at the crossroads, just a few steps from where I stood. They thought they should turn right to reach Tregian, but I, remember he's very much the little lord of the manor at this point, I knew that road led to Probus. I stepped forward to set them straight. Just at that moment, one of the tenant farmers appeared from nowhere, lifted me off my feet, and carried me all the way back to the old manor house. Before I had time to realise what was happening, we were back at the kitchen fireside. "Whatever's the matter?" I burst out angrily. "What on earth do you think you're doing?" "Do you know who those men were, Master Francis?" "Of course I do. They were riders who had lost their way." "Not just any riders, though. They were the sheriff's envoys, the executioner's assistants. You saw the sack one of them was carrying on his horse's back." "Yes." "That was one section of Cuthbert Mayne's quartered body." I found myself shaking uncontrollably. To have seen the sack was almost worse than watching the execution, or hearing the account of his death. "He was still alive when they started cutting him up. We saw his heart beating, and the blood spurted everywhere. I was so close a few drops even fell on me. There, look there." In my child's mind, I saw my imprisoned father suffering the same death, and after my father, it would be my turn. I too was a Catholic. I too. And they severed his head from his trunk and put it on a spike on the castle gate. I shout out in spite of myself. It is unbearable. The head on the spike is mine. I never saw old Thomas, our steward, move with such alacrity. He is beside me before I have time to run away. He places a firm hand on my shoulder. "Master Francis," says Thomas. His voice is soft as velvet. "Go and walk around the house. Don't run. Breathe deeply and drink a cup of water. Then come back and see me here." I do as I am told. "My child," he begins when I return, "it may surprise you to know that what has happened is not directed against you personally, nor even against your father. They were looking for a scapegoat. They found one. Your father is a fervent, staunch Catholic in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I would even say he upholds the faith in quite the wrong way." "But I thought," I said, "that there was only one way to uphold the Catholic faith." "A man may proclaim his faith in every place and at every opportunity, or else practice it devoutly, but with discretion and subtlety," says Thomas. "One may be a Catholic with all one's heart and not be a prominent fanatic for all that. It requires tact and discretion. Your father is wholly ignorant of both. He cares for nothing but eternity and his own soul, and feels accountable only to God and his conscience. Cuthbert was just the same." Thomas goes on, half to himself. "To die for one's faith is all very fine, and I admire men like Cuthbert who have the courage of their convictions, even in the extremity of their suffering. But I cannot believe the God of mercy would have us wish for death and not strive to live. So many toil to build his kingdom here on earth. To die is to flee." He stares into the flames.